Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to your coverage of the Asia here on Beyond the Summit. Bruno, the Statsman, or Ice Frog number 2, as he's also known, was supposed to join me, but he decided to go to the bathroom. Wah, wah, wah. So this will be a solo cast. Hopefully I'll have somebody joining me the rest of the way. MUFC versus Orange. I just received confirmation from the admins. These semifinal matches, much to my dismay, are best out of ones. A lot of money on the line in this tournament. First place is $15,000, $30,000 total US dollars in prizes for this event. So before we really dive into the draft, let's take a quick look at the brackets. And while we do that, let's kick my cat out of the room because she's going ballistic. All right, the cat has been removed from the room. We're back inside the semifinals bracket. Actually, before I do this, I really should show you guys the groups, just so you can see how we got to this point very quickly. The draft, we're only in the first set of bands, so we're not missing too much. We'll have a chance to look at that in just a moment. But, well, we started the groups yesterday. Every team played each other once, and it was best out of one format for each of those matches. Now, only the top 2 teams from each group moved forward. In Group A, it was ldDOTA and MUFC who ended up moving on. N9 had a chance. They could have controlled their own destiny. If they'd beaten MUFC, it would have forced, I believe, a 3-way tie between ldDOTA, MUFC, and N9. But MUFC took them down. MUFC went undefeated in Group A, had a really powerful performance. And yes, MUFC did beat ldDOTA. So now we look at the results for those groups. Big shout out to Team Liquid, to Liquipedia, where I took this screenshot from. Go check them out. I actually forget the URL. I think it's wiki.teamliquid.net, but you can Google it if you want to check it out. These are the results from the groups. In Group B, things were a lot more interesting. We actually had a 3-way tie. Myth Trust, and a bit of a surprise, they actually advanced in first place out of Group B. But Paggy Big TNC, oh, I'm pronouncing it wrong again. Paggy Big? No, that's not right. I'm sorry. I'll just say TNC. TNC Gaming, Team Zenith, and Orange Esports, they all tied 2-2. So then it went to tiebreakers, and as we look at the tiebreakers, this also, again, from Liquipedia, here's how it ended up shaking out. Zenith defeated TNC Gaming 1-0. Then Zenith had their own destiny in their own hands. They then played Orange Esports. They lost that game. Orange Esports then had their destiny in their own hands, and they seized the opportunity. They took down TNC Gaming. If TNC had won that match and done so quickly enough, I think it would have been TNC who advanced, but that didn't happen. So here we are. It brings us to the draft. Orange Esports versus MUFC. Should be a pretty interesting game. So, MUFC versus Orange Esports. MUFC, we've seen a lot from these guys. I think the last time I really had a chance to watch them was the GEST Challenge a couple weeks ago. They were playing with X Freedom as a stand-in, not with HYHY, but yes, it is HYHY standing in for them now, replacing Ken. Ken has been off the team for probably a month or so now, and they've been using a variety of stand-ins in his place. Seems they really like those former Zenith players, and it's worked out pretty well for them so far. When X Freedom played for them, we saw him play Tinker. I think he played an off-lane Undying, a tri-lane Undying, something along those lines. I'm not sure what HYHY has been playing, but I'm sure it probably gets a decent amount of farm. The real story of this MUFC team, of course, has been Ohio. He is really an up-and-coming star player, arguably playing better than anybody else outside of China in the Asian scene. Better than Mushi, better than Yamate. Yes, I said it. Ohio has been the #1 solo player in Southeast Asia, and he's been doing it consistently for about a month. That he's got to be a big reason. I actually didn't get to cast them at all yesterday, but I'm sure he is a big reason why they're here in the first place, coming out of Group A, defeating ldDOTA in their first match of that group stage. So keep your eyes on Ohio. We've seen him as a solo Midget hero. We've seen him as Tinker. We've seen him as a variety of heroes, Shadow Fiend as well, getting an early Shadow Blade. So whatever he plays, he will have a very big impact on this game if MUFC hope to win. As for RG Sports, well, they used to be top dogs in Malaysia, in Southeast Asia in general, because it's been Malaysia generally dominating the Southeast Asian scene for a while now. But with that being said, they're playing without Mushi. They looked a little bit shaky yesterday. They started off 2-0, then they dropped, I believe it was 2 games in a row in the groups, and that's how they ended up in that tiebreak scenario. Their fate was out of their hands because Zenith had control of their own destiny for a moment there. But in the end, they took it back. And RNG Sports did advance. So WW, who played for this team at SMM, he is a former Heroes of New Earth player, which is sort of a Dota clone if you haven't heard of it. Has actually been playing pretty well. He's been playing that off-lane role. They've shifted Yamate into the hard carry position in the safe lane, and KYXY is playing solo mid for them. So that's RNG Sports, a team that looks shaky. You got to favor MUFC in this match. Any team that can beat LGD and just dominate their group the way they did has to be the favorite, but it's really a group, a matchup that could go either way, and it's best out of one, so it's always just that kind of unforgiving format where you never really know what's going to happen. So, the draft well underway, and RNG Sports is going for something they've used quite a few times. The Luna Night Stalker plus anything, really. We'll probably see that solo mid Night Stalker from KYXY, Yamate on the safe lane Luna, and then we'll have to see what the rest of the draft entails. And MUFC say, fine, we'll pick the anti-mage, and they do it pretty early, but they also do it at the end of the first set of picks, so now they're going to have a chance to ban out specific counters to him. They've already picked one of those in the Shadow Demon. Anti-Mage always weak at stopping pushes, and RNG Sports, they don't have that much push yet, but they've got Luna, which means if they want to push, they should be able to. So look for MUFC to be banning out anything that can really propel a push, and look for RNG Sports to be trying to ban out anything that's going to allow MUFC to slow down those pushes. So here's like Windrunner, Puck, those might be on the agenda. As far as MUFC's lanes go, generally when you see the anti-mage picked, he's going to be a safe lane, supported by a couple of heroes. That's normally how pretty much everyone plays him. We have seen dual lane anti-mage mid from time to time. He does okay in lane against certain heroes, but Night Stalker's not a hero you can really lane against that well, because even though in theory you can burn away his mana, a single void and a couple auto attacks, you lose a ton of HP. So we'll probably have to see him in that safe lane. They're looking at picking up a solo mid here most likely. Maybe it'll be a dual lane, maybe it'll just be a solo and then a tri-lane AM. We'll see how they want to draft this. There's a lot of common heroes left in the pool right now that could be picked up by either team. As for RNG Sports, what will they do with their lanes? They have an option to go aggressive. Luna in an offensive tri-lane is pretty strong. She doesn't really match up that well against anti-mage at the early levels, but if you have the right supporting cast, it could work. But most likely, we're going to be seeing a defensive tri-lane from Orange with the Luna +2, Night Stalker solo mid, maybe someone roaming around to help that mid lane if MUFC go for a dual lane, and then we'll see something either off lane or just abandoning that off lane entirely. When you're up against anti-mage, he's not really the best pusher. You have Leshrac there. If he goes for Edict build, he could push down the tower, but that's something Orange will be okay with. If you push down their tower early, they'll get the trade bottom with Luna. They'll probably trade faster than you because they have that Luna, and then they'll have a lane to farm safely. So we'll see. I don't think either team will go for a super early push. Now, something else worth mentioning is both of these teams really like their jungle play. Extinct, well known for his. You already see the Chen getting banned out. On the side of MUFC, they're a team that have run quite a bit of junglers in the past, usually Ling playing that. They used to really favor Enchantress. There was a period about a month and a half to 2 months ago where MUFC never really picked hard carries. They never really picked heroes that scaled into the late game. For them, it was always just about sort of getting a really powerful start in the laning stage and then never looking back. But things have changed. They have really developed into a much more diverse and unpredictable team, which for me works into their favor, because when you're up against a team like Orange in a best out of one, you really don't want to leave just sort of, you don't want to have all your cards on the table coming into the draft where they pretty much know exactly how you're going to pick. I actually didn't really look at the first set of bans. The one that's interesting for me, we see TA getting banned out. That's not a big surprise. That's a hero that Ohio loves to play, and it's an annoying hero to lane against. Nyx Assassin. This has been one of MUFC's staple picks. Also, there is a twin-headed dragon in the pool, which I had forgotten about. So many good heroes nowadays. Undying, another one that would have been possibly picked up otherwise. And MUFC, it's also smart to be banning out the heroes like Chen and Enigma, because you have an anti-mage, you're probably not going aggressive tri-lane, and that's the only real way to punish those weaker junglers. Not that they're weak in the jungle, but Chen and Enigma not going to do as much for you when you're up against an aggressive tri-lane as something like an Enchantress, or even certain other junglers like perhaps say a Darkseer, where you can just come in with Ion Shell. Surge here is the safety if he needs it. So because of that, because they know they can't really go aggressive tri-lane, they're banning out the junglers that will offer more later on, the junglers that are weaker at to the aggressive tri-lanes but stronger later on in the game. You don't see the Enchantress ban. I think MUFC would actually be okay if Orange wanted to pick something like that up. So we'll see if they go for it. I don't think they will. Darkseer is still in the pool, and that's got to be a hero that both teams have their eyes on. Luna illusions are scary, anti-mage illusions are scary, and obviously Darkseer in general is scary. I think especially for Orange could be very aggravating to deal with. Both teams have their ways to deal with them, though. You have Disruption to set up Split Earth, and that is a way to bring him down very quickly, especially with Soul Catcher. Will disrupt your ability to surge away. See what I did there? Of course, Telekinesis Lift is a reliable way to pull him back as well when he tries to surge back. And Anti-Mage really struggles against that Darkseer. So too does the Luna, because she's got relatively low range. But I would say especially for MUFC, that's a hero if they don't pick up, Orange Esports may select it as their final pick. And people are saying they can't hear stuff, but I'm not sure if that's just in-game or if that's sound is out. Can you guys hear me? You can hear stuff. Stream works fine. Okay, is in-game working? All right, because I had a lot of good analysis here, guys. I hope you actually got to hear it. No game audio on stream. Oh, game audio. There's no game audio during the draft. That's why, guys. But the game audio is enabled. It should be. We should hear it as soon as the draft ends. So nothing to worry about there. So Prophet is the choice for Orange Esports, and I love this pick because, like I said, they want a death ball and push. You take advantage of the fact that Luna has a much earlier timing where she becomes a high-impact hero compared to the anti-mage. You have the Trance to tank to sort of, soak up the damage from the tower and the wave. You've got the Luna to provide the DPS. You've got Night Stalker, who, by the way, is great synergy with Luna because Eclipse turns the game to night for an additional 10 seconds, I believe, on top of what you already get from the natural day-night cycle as well as darkness. So it's a really nice combo, and Night Stalker just a great bully to drive the enemy team back from the tower. For MUFC, they gotta find some openings here in the early to mid game, or they're gonna struggle later on. The one downside of this Prophet pick is if he's your off lane, AM can solo verse him. You get a poor man shield to start, maybe he gets pulled a little bit of regen, and that's something MUFC would love to do, in which case they could go aggressive with Shadow Demon Leshrac and Sand King. Now, normally you don't go aggressive when you have AM on your team because he needs protection, but depending on how Orange choose to lane this, it's something MUFC could look to do. So let's see how the lanes develop, but that is a bit of a concern for Orange. If they're up against an aggressive tri-lane with SK, Leshrac, and Shadow Demon, MUFC could demolish them. Luna, she's a decent tri-lane hero because of the damage you get from the aura, and the nuke hits pretty hard once you hit level 3, but she's not going to be strong at those level 1 and 2 engagements. With that being said, Orange, they pick up a Twin-Headed Dragon. That will really shore up their defensive tri-lane, and it is a last pick Darkseer. I am shocked he slipped through this long. Something you wouldn't expect to see. I wonder where he'll go. Maybe we'll even see him solo mid, aggressive tri-lane, and then an anti-mage safe lane. That's what I would think MUFC would look to do. But then again, it is dangerous to go aggressive tri-lane against Twin-Headed Dragon, and with Prophet always being able to be +1. If they don't do that, we could maybe see dual lanes, a dual lane SK Leshrac, sort of a throwback towards what we saw at the International 2. We could maybe see, which is something actually Arj love to do with Yamate on a farming Leshrac. And then Shadow Demon AM mid, Darkseer offlane. The other option, I suppose, is just a Darkseer offlane, and then a solo mid Leshrac, or even a SK Leshrac dual lane mid with a roaming Sand King perhaps, and Shadow Demon AM safe lane. So my point is, MUFC, they have a lot of options, but if they want to go aggressive, because they picked up the Sand King and AM can lane against Prophet 1v1, it's something they could think about. It's something Orange are going to have in the back of their heads. So I seem to be talking in-game. Hopefully y'all can hear me in Dota TV. If you can't, just let me know.
Prepare for battle.
You see the little white bubble, it should be working, but I'll try toggling it just to make sure. Okay guys, let's introduce the players. This is Orange versus MUFC. Again, for anybody just tuning in, we have a brief pause, so let's look at the bracket real quickly. It is a best out of 1. This is the Asia. It's talk about a high stakes scenario. Even the international as big as much more money as there was on the line there. You at least had best out of 3s for most of the import matches. The early loser bracket matches were best out of 1, but for the semifinals and stuff like that, it was at least best out of 3. So it's a lot of pressure on these teams. It's put up or shut up time for both of them. MUFC versus Orange. MUFC came here in convincing fashion. Orange, not so much. They're changing go. I think they're changing PCs, in which case we may have a slightly longer break. Let's see. How long is it going to be? It looks like a remake. I still see that profit in here. Yeah, you can see it looks like we are having a remake. Everybody's disconnected. So, let's hope that they don't all reconnect to the game. Last time they said they were going to remake, then they took forever and made me very nervous. But it does give me an opportunity to get Bruno in here, which would be awesome. Bruno, come. Bruno, join the game. And Toby's not in here yet, so they can't start. They can't start yet. Aha. We've done it, guys. We've done it, I think. If Bruno doesn't join this game, then everybody go flame him. He is twitter.com/DAFantasyLeague. And you can yell at him for having human... I mean, he's Ice Frog. He doesn't have bodily functions, right? But apparently he does. He had to go to the bathroom or something like that, so... Oh, man. Let's bring Bruno on. I sound like a crazy man talking to myself. Merlini does not want to cast now, guys, for those who are asking. He said he wants to stream for a bit. I did ask a couple people. Bruno was amongst them. And Bruno answered the call. Bruno, how you doing? Oh, you're muted. Hold on one sec. There you go. Bruno, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So, apparently you have bodily functions. I thought you were a robot.
No, not yet. Maybe in 20 or 30 years I might need that, but still fully human.
Yeah, you were working on it though. It's one of your many projects, right?
Yep, of course. It's like the Bicentennial Man, the Isaac Asimov story. There was a movie about it with Robin Williams. The movie's really bad, but the book is actually quite good. So, what did I miss in the bans and picks?
You missed an anti-mage pick from MUFC. You also missed a Darkseer slipping until the last pick.
Wow.
MUFC, if you... I actually linked to you the Team Liquid live report thread, so you can see the draft if you'd want. But otherwise, we're having an AP.
That's great.
This is an AP remake for everybody just tuning in. So we should be getting the game underway momentarily. Anti-mage. And Bruno, they picked it when they're... Oh, guys, by the way, you can thank me now because I did manually Photoshop the overlays so that you can see the Dire Fountain. Hope you appreciate the little touches here at Beyond the Summit. Yes, I am a graphic design wizard in addition to being an okay caster. But, yeah, anti-mage pick. And Bruno, they picked it against a Luna. It was an early Luna pick, too, like second or third. And, you know, normally when we see Luna, she's the push and carry, but they're not afraid of that, apparently.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I mean, they have Darkseer, Sand King, Shadow Demon, Leshrac. I mean, aside from the Leshrac, they have no pushing at all, no proper pushing, but they have some decent counter pushing, and the lanes are okay. One might say that Leshrac, Shadow Demon, Anti-Mage tri-lane is quite strong.
It is quite strong. If they do that, Orange are probably just going to abandon that suicide lane. We'll just see Prophet in the jungle. We'll see Night Stalker getting some far mid, maybe even some mid pulls, and then some, some support protecting the Luna in the safe lane. So that's how I think Orange will respond if they do that. The other thing I was thinking about is MUFC could offensive tri-lane, and Luna's a bit weak at level 1 to 2. She doesn't really get strong until, say, 3 to 5, with that new kit's level 2. The R is still pretty powerful, but Shadow Demon could set up a pretty potent combo with Leshrac plus Sand King. And I think if they want to go offensive, they have that option. And on top of that, Anti-Mage can 1v1 very well against Prophet. We've seen that before. If you pull him a little bit of regen, that's a choice. So both of the teams have their options.
Yeah, I'm actually quite happy to see Sand King. It was very common way back when, 6 months ago. But I've seen the Sand King disappearing. I think he's one of the weakest supports right now because... that stun range at level 1 is quite short. You need some kind of setup. I mean, his base move speed isn't so great either. For having 6 legs, you'd expect him to move faster than 300.
Oh, you and the leg shooks.
I couldn't avoid it. Sorry.
It's a classic.
Oh, yeah, it never gets old. But, I mean, yeah, it's a good hero. I mean, he has the potential for a good initiation, even counter initiation, once you get that Blink Dagger. But then again, it's not a huge ult like... RP or Ravage, because it's just a slow, not a stun.
I'm actually not sure why my endgame sound isn't working, because it's not... No, I have it. It's just a little bit quiet, maybe. There is in-game sound, guys. You hear the water, right?
You can hear me, right? I see my balloon, so...
I think
Balloon
there's some game
means-
sound. Maybe
30
not.
seconds
Yeah, there
to
it is.
battle.
Yeah, there is. Okay. All right, we have in-game sound. Stop trolling me in the chat. All right, on the side of MUFC, we have Net that supports Sand King, so he won't be getting too much farm. Sharky as the Shadow Demon. We're used to seeing him on often more of a carry role, but with HY standing in, I suppose someone had to move their position to make way for HY, formerly of Zenith. He'll be playing the anti-mage lane on that Darkseer. Lane known for playing jungle a lot for MUFC, so we may just see this Darkseer abandon the suicide lane. Last but not least for MUFC, we have Ohio. And Bruno, for me, this guy's been the story of the Southeast Asian scene over the past couple months. Ohio has been sensational. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Better than Mushi, better than Yamate. That's how he's played over the past couple of months. He has been the #1 solo mid for me, outside of China. And let's see if he can do it here today. They're probably going to need a big performance from him.
Oh yeah, he's going with that Shrug mid against Night Stalker. It's a good matchup, I guess. I mean, until Night Stalker starts diving, you still have that edict. There are lots of things that you can do there. And Shadow Demon seems to be wanting to help level 1. And whoa, we might see a kill level 1.
Oh, can they block him in? Is KYXY going to be able to get out of here in time? Look at that double damager, and Shadow Demon has a very nice attack animation. Oh, he lives with just about 20 HP, a little bit less. If Night Stalker didn't have that 5 base armor, he's a dead one there.
Yeah, but he's screwed right now because he doesn't have a sub. He went with the classic 3 ranches and a tango. Without the quick region, he can't risk getting so close to that lane now.
And Sharky knows
and I think
it.
we haven't... we haven't introduced the players in orange, right?
No, go
If
for
we
it.
can do that. Yeah, with the Rubik, support Rubik is extinct. Yamate with the farming Luna. WW with the offlane Furion. Now, currently, no, not jungling.
I think he should
no,
be, but yeah, he's not.
Yeah, he should. He's not jungling yet. We have Ice on the, not Ice, just Ice on the support Jakiro. And in the middle, we have KYXY avoiding the first blood with the Night Stalker.
Interesting dual lane mid. Any dual lane that's got a Jakiro is going to be pretty decent, but it's Night Stalker. He's the melee hero in this lane, a little bit weaker. I think it's fairly even. I'd be a little worried if I'm MUFC because if that Shadow Demon ever gets caught, he's screwed. And on the flip side, well, Twin-Headed Dragon can sit very far back because of Ice Path just having such a long range. We'll see if he stays here for the moment. He'll have to stay nearby to help make sure he can get that eco bottle. You can see the advantage of dual lane mid. You can start to check the runes with your supports while the farmer gets the experience in the lane. Prophet still trying to pull the wave top. His first pull, it looked like it failed completely. I believe that was thanks to MUFC doing some, essentially pulling the enemy wave into that pull attempt of the Prophets, and so it failed. But we'll see round number 2. Can it work? I'm not sure. For me, I think he's better off in the jungle. Although, I guess with Twin-Headed Dragon doing some mid lane pulling, there's not a whole lot to work with.
Yep, and I'm not sure about this Twin-Headed Dragon. Actually, he waited really, really long to go for the dual breath. It was just 15 seconds ago, he didn't put any points on his skills. Oh, they're going on.
Oh, they mistime it.
It's...
And he's actually going
That
for
would have been
lightning
a first
build.
blood.
I don't know. He's going for lightning build. I'm not sure they have enough damage. I think they would need to chase with Edict to get that. What do you think? You think they could have gotten that?
I think they could. I mean, that second and a half of stun of that level 1... Actually, it's 2 seconds with level 1 split earth. It's enough to get a couple auto attacks on, and with a soul catcher, it's a level 2 soul catcher as well, so it's 30%. It's actually possible to get a kill. I kind of like the lightning build in this middle lane, trying to dominate this mid lane without actually needing the edit for pushing.
It's something that I was talking about in the draft, is you're up against a big pushing lineup between Prophet and Luna. Automatically your team's going to push. So you need some anti-push, and who else is going to provide it? Darkseer's okay with Ion Shell. That's really about it. Wow, HY, how did he drop to 70 HP? I think he was diving, or just tanking the creep wave. He's really low. He's got a salve. He doesn't want to use it yet. But now, Prophet would just love to get this off, but there's no way to actually do it. But yeah, they need anti-push. Oh, bottom lane, first blood on the Darkseer. Not a good start for him. Although in spite of that, he's level 3.
Yeah, he was trying to snatch the pool. They were pulling into this camp and then from this camp into this camp. And now Darkseer was just being annoying, but the rotation from that Jakiro was perfect and they could lock away and waste his surge. And without the surge, there was nothing he could do.
Well, for the moment, he's just going to abandon that lane. I thought he would just abandon it to begin with, because they have a really good lane for killing him. Also, look at Extinct's levels. Already level 4 off of that kill, and really good at his pulling. Whenever Extinct plays this support Rubik, one of the things he's very consistent about is he always makes sure that he does not just a single pull, but he gets the double pulls off when he's not up against an aggressive lane. So he keeps his levels high, and that's really what you need as Rubik, is that quick level 6. Well, so we'll probably see it again here. You can see he's eating this tree. He'll start pulling the camp now. He's been very efficient, will continue to be. On the top lane, Anti-Mage bullying that Prophet, and this is what I talked about earlier in the draft, is AM can do this, and Prophet, oh, he's dead. No way out for him. This Prophet's going to keep on walking, but that ain't going to save him. There's a Blink. HY gets the solo kill, and now maybe they look to push this lane. This Prophet not getting anything accomplished up top.
It feels really good when you're the carry and you get such an easy kill. I mean, that's not actually WW's fault entirely. He might have mistimed the trying to TP away. He ran out of mana before he could. But still, when you're a carrier and you just have to walk and right-click one guy and get the kill, it feels really, really good, because that means half or 1 minute less for your Battle Fury or whatever item you're going for, and you want that, especially when you're going against a Luna that's getting free farm bottom.
Yeah, speaking of that, Luna is going for more of an early game build. She's up against Darkseer, so you pretty much need the Tranquil Boots to deal with the slow erosion of your HP from that Ion Shell. Mid lane, the other thing I like about this for MUFC is even if Night Stalker is getting some farm and not dying, they're keeping his levels down, so he's not going to be as scary come mid game. He's only level 5 now. Normally you'd probably be level 6, and you'd be getting close to 7. Also, his farm isn't that great. What does he have? 17 CS. You compare that to Leshrac up at 32. MUFC got to be pretty comfortable with their lanes, and I mean, they had a lineup that needed to do well in the laning stage, or come mid game they were really going to struggle against the aggression, but I think it's looking quite good for MUFC so far.
Yep, and he missed a rune. Night Stalker was expecting to get that bottom rune and try to see if he could gank or do anything, but the rune spawned top and Leshrac got it. So actually feeling pretty good for Leshrac, which has a point booster already. Might he be rushing an Acceptor? Or he just wants the mana and the health? What do you think?
This is a game for me where you need a BKB. We'll see. If he gets a couple kills and they're really far ahead, you could go for it. But that Night Stalker silence ruins Leshrac. A lot of disables, even the Telekinesis Lift, Eclipse. There's a lot of nuke damage as well. So I would like to see the BKB rush this game. I think it's the safer play. And you'll have late game with the way HY is farming. He's the lead farmer on the board, out-farming the Luna. And late game, Anti-Mage should be able to deal with the Luna. Especially if they're having equal farm. Now, it's not just the Luna, though. It is a Prophet, but the issue is this Prophet's very far behind. He's only level 2. It's 7 minutes in. He's not getting a Midas early. He's going to be behind, so even if he could provide a secondary carry option in most games, this game it's going to be very hard to do it. Mid lane, they dive onto Sharky. There's a Void and a Silence. Then the Ice Path comes through. Doesn't do as much damage nowadays. Split Earth is going to hit on Extinct. Here comes the counter gank. Net is here. HY is here. Everybody and their mother, their father, their sister, and brother is here. Everybody from MUC descends on the lane. 5 heroes, and now they look to push this tier 1. No points in Edict yet. Bruno, talk about a counter gank. You pick Night Stalker, we will make you pay. And they're not done yet. They want WW. Oh god, he's so slow. It's painful to watch. He's gonna fall as well. And MUFC off to a 4-1 start. They went undefeated in the groups, and they're looking pretty strong here in this best out of 1 versus Orange.
That was just a great counter gank. Everyone was TPing straight away. And I mean, when I play a game and I try to TP where everyone gets there, it takes me so long because it feels like every TP takes 7 or 8 seconds. But whoa.
Are we going to go the other way? Are we going to go the other way with this one? Net's trying to run away. Here comes the Eclipse. It completely whiffs. One beam hits Ohio at the end, but that's not enough. Gets the Shadow Demon instead, so they get the 1 kill. But the counter gank of Orange, not as effective so far. Net's still running. Net's still running. I think he's hoping for a rune top, but it's not there. Prophet's joined the fight. He wants some revenge. That pesky Anti-Mage isn't here. So they should be able to get this kill if they have detection. Oh, Net thinks they do and decides to run. Did they have it? Yeah, there was a Sentry Ward on Leshrac, so he tried to run away. Not able to escape. He'll fall. But that did force quite a few TPs. I think MUFC's still pretty happy with their position. Orange, they should be getting these kills anyway. They've got the Night Stalker. They've got more of the Death Bolt army in the early to mid game, but a decent response from them.
Yep. The only good thing about that is that this gave Luna quite a couple seconds to out-farm the Animate right now. So she's 1 creep ahead. And she seems to be going for really early items, as you said. It's an Aquila, Tranquil Boots, and nothing in the courier, I guess. Oh yeah, there's a Blade of Alacrity, so she's going for a quick Yasha.
Yep.
On the other hand, the Animage is going for the Battle Fury build, apparently, because he has a Perseverance and 700 gold.
I'm getting a bit worried about the... You normally don't leave Anti-Mage alone like this unless you're getting someone who's really scary, a big start. You know, something like an early Midas on, I don't know, a Sven or a Gyrocopter. Yamate's going for this build, which, you know, offers you more of a punch right now.
Oh, Luna, bottom.
Yeah, I see the setup is coming. The smoke is here. They're going to surge in the Sand King. This is a good way to initiate it. It's a level 3 burst strike. They do catch him, and they know Eclipse is down. That's why they're choosing this moment to gank. They do get the kill. Net's in a bit of trouble now. He may fall to this. HY is here. Man, this is such an active anti-mage, always joining the fights with his team and really making them pay. He's on a killing spree. Now he blinks forward. He wants KYXY. Double kill for him. It's all falling apart for Orange. They can't keep giving these kills to AM. He's up to 1,400 gold. The Battle Fury's coming in 1,200. He'll have it at 12 minutes, 13 minutes, if not sooner at the rate this is going. Another hero falls. MUFC just swarming to the point of attack, and Orange fumbling the ball.
Amazing play, really, really consistent, and they're getting this tier 1 as well. It all started with the 3-man smoke gank to the Luna, but then Anti-Mage came straight away, and when people started TPing and trying to do what MUFC did in the mid lane, they just started falling one by one. It was a disaster. I was 4 for nothing trade there.
I normally don't like to check the gold graph this early, mainly because if the game looks one-sided, it often is, and it's a big lead. They will kill off AM mid, though, it looks like. I think he's low. One more auto tech. Oh, boy, that was a crucial kill. He did already buy the Claymore, but this delays the Battle Fury by probably at least 1 minute, maybe 2. For me, that's a kill they absolutely had to have. With the Luna dying, the AM getting a couple kills. They need more than that, though. I think they need at least 1 or 2 more kills. And more importantly, Bruno, when are they going to start pushing towers? You don't pick Luna to just try and trade farm with an AM. You pick her for that mid-game death ball. And with Prophet being behind, not having the early mech up, I guess they don't want to force the issue, but they got to get some towers soon.
Yeah, and I think it all goes to that Prophet. He's level 4, 11 minutes into the game. He has 0 farm. I mean, he could as well be in a support Nature's Prophet for the items he has. But no, I mean, if you don't have him leveled up, if you don't have a couple more levels in Nature's Call, you can't pull reliable. You don't have that ultimate that makes the lanes push. It's really, really hard for Orange actually to make something happen right now. And, well, Night Stalker is good. Some people say Night Stalker is good for pushing because he can tank the tower, he can die while the other guys push. But, I mean, he brings nothing to the table, just right clicks. And with Deadly Strike going, I think he's, yeah, Deadly Strike's going for all items at once. Probably a BKB.
Yeah, I think it'll be a BKB. I mean, we could see him disassemble the Arcane Boots, go for a Bloodstone, but if he gets a BKB, then that's 2 heroes, him and the AM, who have to be focused, and also once the Darkseer gets level 11, it becomes 3 heroes you really don't want to ignore, and you could even argue Sand King eventually will be one who's going to be a threat, because Orange aren't going to have a pipe or a mech anytime soon. There's so many threats on MUFC, you really... And with the BKB up on Leshrac, it's a hero that has to be focused. They do have Luna, and she's a decent counter to BKB carries because of the Lunar Blessing. It gives you plus physical damage, and that will affect you even if you have a BKB up. Leshrac doesn't have the best base armor, so I think they have a shot at bringing him down. But again, every moment you're killing Leshrac is a moment you're not killing AM, you're not ganking AM, and that Battle Fury is really coming out soon. Even after that death, he should have it by, it looks like, the 13.5, 14-minute mark.
Yep. On the other hand, is that Luna? Does it Luna have a Yasha yet? Yep. The courier just missed her. That's a really nice draw, the courier for the international, by the way. But yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Yasha doesn't really change fundamentally what Luna does in the early game. It's not like, well, you got a Yasha, now you have a great item. It's just a bit more damage, a bit more move speed. It's okay, some attack speed as well. But an anti-mage, when he gets his Battle Fury, now he starts rolling and farming exponentially faster. I don't know. I think that Anti-Mage is winning the carry duo in this game.
And again, it's, you know, ideally it's not the Luna fighting this battle by herself. She's got the Prophet and the Night Stalker who can provide, you know, that right jab to go with her left hook. But they're so behind, they're not going to be able to do anything. And, you know, it also goes back to the lanes where MUFC dual lane mid. They force the Night Stalker to have an ally there. They also slow down his farm. So he's under-leveled, and you mentioned how he can be a good pusher. Well, he can be, because if he's ahead, if he's, say, level 11 at this point, and he's got a couple kills, maybe he's got his power treads and, say, an Ogre X working towards a BKB, the enemy team's probably running from him, and then they are able to push. But when he's behind like this, nobody's afraid of him. And also he's Day Stalker now.
I mean, I guess he's still a guy that can silence that Leshrac or the Anti-Mage if they can manage to lock him down. I mean, he brings utility, but he shouldn't be the guy bringing utility. He should be the guy making things happen, getting kills, attacking, being aggressive. And now you're just a glorified silencer.
And
you're only single target at that, which is really not what you're hoping for. MUFC got a free tower bottom. And Orange, they were the ones we expected should be getting the early towers, and they're just not. Still no towers up for them. The map control is slipping, and this is like AM just having the entire ranch to himself. He's just going to have a great time farming away, pushing aggressively. Battle Fury's up. It's been up for, I think, about 20-30 seconds or so. And now the siege begins. Only 2 points in Edict. He hasn't maxed the stun, though. And even Edict at low levels does a lot to towers. You can see it already drops below half. Orange can't just sit back like this. They're going to lose late game to this AM. They don't have the... Really, unless MUFC make big mistakes, they're not going to be able to take the slate. They got to find an opening soon. HY finds Profit mid again. Oh.
Look at that damage. He's going to kill by walking again.
A bit of an ill-advised blink. I don't think he needed to do that, and he might cost him his life. That would not be a smart trade. Sharky wants to disrupt him. No, not able to. Hero Leshrac with the Ice Path. Now he disrupts one. It's, talk about a blunder. That blink under the tower, then the blinks on cooldown, wasn't able to get disrupted in time because of that Leshrac stun. Everything just going a little bit off kilter for MUFC.
That costed him so much. It's so unfortunate. I mean, when you look at that blink cooldown, it's just 5 seconds, and 5 seconds is nothing. But Night Stalker was there, the glorified silencer, once again. I mean, once you're silenced, you have to wait for actually 5 seconds at level 1, and that was enough for Jakiro to get there. Shadow Demon couldn't save him, and he's paying now. He's thinking about it for the next 8 seconds.
If he had gotten that disruption off, I think he would have been able to blink away. At least it would have been close. Now, Night Stalker may have been able to just chase him down with a Void, but the Ice Path stunning Shadow Demon prevented any chance of escape. Leshrac is going for a BKB. We see the Mithril Hammer coming out now. I love this choice. This is what they need. It can even be Leshrac just running in first, throwing all his nukes out there, burning all his mana. He dies, that's fine, because everyone's going to be low or running away, and that means AM can clean up, or they just get towers. So it's a great choice. MUFC, we may see them look for Roshan soon as well, with the tier 2 bottom being knocked down in the end. Killed off by the Leshrac in that, I guess, that second attempt. As well as the tier 1 mid falling. They've got the map control. The one thing they don't have that I'd like to see is a gem, and that would really give them the edge on Orange as far as vision goes.
Yeah, but they do have the item progression. I mean, not only we see the Battle Fury and the Anti-Mage, we see the mech completed on the Darkseer, apart from the Leshrac items you were talking. On the other hand, Fury and Nature's Prophet is really way behind on his mech. He's going to have him in no less than 5 minutes at the rate he's farming right now. Luna, again, I mean, she's going for BKV, it's decent, but, I mean, you need to be making an impact right now, no in 10 minutes. And nothing else on the other heroes. I mean, Night Stalker just finished his stress, and he's going for a BKV as well, but that will not accomplish anything until the BKV is completed. Well, in the meantime, MUFC can do what they want. They have map control, as you said. They can go for Roshan, and they will definitely defend this mid tower, who is almost at full health.
If MUFC win this game, they are still undefeated and have a shot at going undefeated the whole way through the tournament. If not, they go home. Your group stage record doesn't matter when it comes to the playoffs, and it is an unforgiving best out of 1 format. You talked about mechanisms. Darkseers is up now. He's also got a point booster. He's very tanky. Nobody on MUFC is an easy kill. Even the supports. The Sand King is a bracer. Leshrac's not a support. The BKB is coming soon. Sharky's got a bracer as well. And what makes it even more frustrating is you're up against disruption. So even if you look to focus someone down, if Sharky's there at the right time, he could disrupt a hero and the fight goes the other way. And also come late game, you can get 2 extra anti-mages going your way to really amp up your siege power. I think MUFC right now, they have all the tools they need to keep the advantage going and even increase it quite a bit.
Animage is bringing his own Yasha now, and now we can see the difference. Let's go to the gold per minute. He's way up, destroying the Luna. Luna is just 363, while Animage is at 510. Talk about the potential of farming with the Battle Fury. Yeah. He's going for it now.
Oh, looks like Rubik managed to steal something. It was Blake. Pretty good ability to have there. MUFC on the top lane. They're grouped up. They have the mech. They have the Yasha. Not going to wait for the AM to complete that item. Not going to wait for the BKB, but haste up on Ohio. And this is going to be tough to defend. Orange, they keep on giving up towers, but at some point they got to take a stand. You know Rosh is going to come soon. Once that tier 2 mid falls, it's pretty much a given. Just the distance to travel there won't be in time. AM up to another 1100 gold. And what do you know? A huge way for him to farm bottom. They're making this AM work, a hero that has been largely forgotten by the competitive scene.
Well, that's the thing about an anti-mage. If you let him farm, I mean, some people talk about Spectre. Spectre needs like 25 minutes of farm. Anti-mage needs 13. All he needs is 13 minutes to farm that Battle Fury. You can even farm it in 11 if you're doing really, really well. But 13 minutes of farm, and then he just starts becoming a beast. You can't gank him in the jungle because he'll just hop from one camp to the other and always out of your reach. And yeah, I mean, he's not as aggressive early game, and they might want to try to kill him now. But see, this is what I told you. He just senses that something's happening. There's smoke ganking him. 4-man smoke gank, and he just decides to hop into the entrance and keep farming there. Not a worry in the world.
I thought you told me people couldn't map hack in Dota 2. Bruno, you lied. And of course, HY just showing his great map awareness there. We'll be backing off. And once the Manta comes out, one of the best ways one of their best tools to kill him has been that Night Stalker silence. That's how he died mid earlier. But with Manta, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You can remove the silence with the Manta. It's a really important game to have it. Also, the BKB is just about to be out on Ohio. MUFC is a bit lower level than you would expect, and it's largely because they've been grouping up a lot. They've been playing pretty defensively, conserving their lead. Ling gets pulled back into the middle lane, into the silence, into a lot of nuke damage. Ling gets picked off. I think the mech is here. Ohio comes in with the BKB and the epicenter from the Sand Cage. Oh boy, that one.
How did Ling survive there? How did Ling survive?
Wait, he survived. Wow. You know, he looked as good as dead. He looked like He was not medium rare. He was well done. He was ready to be, I mean, to the point that he's probably a little bit charred on the edges and somehow walks out unscathed. Well, not unscathed, but he's alive.
He was at 10 HP and he pulls his mech. Then he's at 10 HP again and he pulls his magic stick and survives. That's just amazing.
You know, he reminds me of my grandfather. God rest his soul, but he loved his toast just burnt to a crisp. It looked like it was just, you know, completely charred royal as far as toast goes. And, yeah. That's what he looked like by the end of that fight. But hey, he's still there. Hasn't been eaten yet.
Well. Yep, and no more tier 2 towers for the Radiant. This is looking quite complicated for them. And now they can go Roche very, very safely because there's no way they're getting outside this basic range. Because the jungle is not safe anymore, the bottom lane is not safe anymore. They don't have any kind of map awareness other from this spot and this spot here, which are the lanes actually. So it's pretty complicated for Radiant. They have to ward up, they have to try to de-ward the other things they have, because otherwise they just won't feel safe. And now they're grouping up together. They're trying to make things happen with the small gank again, but it didn't work when they went for the Animage later, before. So is it going to work now? No, because Animage grabs an invisibility rune, and he's suddenly out of sight.
As though he needs it. And the Manta up, and 600 gold. Something coming soon. This game, we could see the butterfly, but more likely it should be a heart because it's primarily nuke damage coming out from Orange. They may find him. It looks like they anticipated he'd come top. Here he goes with the Manta. There's a bunch of heroes here. That ult could easily kill off Prophet and possibly more, but he's silenced. He already used the Manta. HY makes a critical blunder, gets picked off, and he is so far ahead. The effect of this is going to be that it turns massively back around and Orange surge forward. A little gas in the tank, a little bit of a, you know, kick in their step after that kill. AM still way ahead, almost doubling the Luna, but a couple more kills like that, and that won't be the case.
Yeah, I mean, again, blinking when he shouldn't, popping the Manta way too early. I think he didn't expect 4 heroes to be there, but credit to the Rubik because he guessed the right animage to lift. I mean, there was no way he could know at that moment, but he guessed right, he lived the proper animage, and it was all about the silence afterward, and pretty much they dumping every single spell on him, and he couldn't survive there. But then again, I mean, as you said, Leshrac is still farming, that soul booster's up, he's going for a Bloodstone.
I love this, and then we'll see the Boots of Travel if it goes a little bit later. Because at that point, what else do you really need? Maybe you could look at a Plate Mail, or even a Shiva's Guard, but Boots of Travel and Bloodstone, such a potent combo. You die, you heal your whole team up with the Bloodstone Death Charge, then you can come back to life very quickly, or if you really need to, you can buy back, or save the buyback and then have a third life. Plus Leshrac, we may see him even get the Aegis. I think it'll still go to the AM, especially with his deaths. That I wouldn't say are piling up, but he's getting a lot more than you'd expect with the kind of lead he has. So maybe they'll probably give it to AM, but if they want to give it to Leshrac, he's a great carrier for that. And like you said, it's a dual core strategy. You got to focus both of these heroes, but neither of them is a particularly easy kill. Once AM has a heart, it's going to be nearly impossible to bring him down.
Yep, and they're going for Roche now. And Ohio seems to be listening to you and says, you know what, I'm not going for travels. He buys some face boots. He has some face boots on right now.
An interesting choice. They are pretty good on Leshrac because he's got above average base move speed, so it does synergize pretty well. He's very mobile just through these fights, able to chase heroes down. Odd to see them picked up so late. I think there are better choices, but hey, it's a small thing. He's been playing great so far.
Yep, and well, Orange does what they have to do, and I mean, they can't contest Roshan, so they take a tier 1 tower. I mean, not the best of trades, but still a trade. So HY wants to go for
He's
the
not
Night
done.
Stalker now.
Oh, this is a kill. There's a Blink Dagger up on net. KYXY should fall. There's the AM ult. Maybe not. It's a big ice path. Wow, talk about your Jakiro doing some work. Rubik now blinking away. Extinct is a surprisingly elusive. HY with the Aegis. He doesn't care. He keeps on going. In comes the BKB Leshrac. It looks like the Eclipse was baited out. Ohio's dropping low. Yamate is going to get quite a few kills. What a turn of events. 3 heroes dead, but there is an Aegis, so AM's coming back. Can they lift him? They can. Is there a silence? There's not. He dies. They bring him down thanks to the Luna Aura. Can you believe it? The Aegis thrown away. Lane wasn't there the entire fight. He's the mech carrier. He's almost got a pipe. I gotta say, MUFC, questionable decision-making at best from them there.
That was a blunder. I mean, Leshrac walked next to Luna because she wanted to go and help the animes, but he didn't realize he had the Luna mowing at his soul, like just chipping and chipping until he reacted well. I mean, he did well in reacting when he popped the BKB when Luna pulled the Eclipse. But then again, it was too late. He was already on quarter health. And the Shakiro Ice Path just as the BKB was over. Spell unfortunate doom for both Leshrac and the Animage. We had 2 lives and felt like he was the king of the world, but he's now the king of the underworld while he waits to come back to the team fight.
This is going to be interesting. Yamate, he did use that 10-second BKB charge, and he is going to be quite reliant on it. There's a lot of disables, there's a lot of stuns, and there's also that mana burn, which does not go through BKB that he's got to be worried about until he gets a little bit more farm. So, at this point, Yamate is getting close to a Manta style, whereas AM has nothing. Aside from what he already had before the Roshan attempt, is there anything on the Courier? There's not. Bruno, they're almost dead even. If we look at the gold, the net worth, I saw the net worth, maybe it was 5 minutes ago. AM was like 11.6k, Luna was, oh, not dead even, sorry, I was confusing Leshrac with Luna, but they're really catching up. I mean, it's only a 3k gap now. At one point, it was like a 6-7k gap. It's really coming together for them, and they can't afford to have too many more mistakes. That's the third big blunder from HY after a really good start. He's got to sharpen up, he's got to play a little bit more. But just with his team, they had a good Death Ball lineup with the BKB Leshrac, the Blink Dagger Sandcade, and the Darkseer, who's now about to get the pipe and the mech. I don't see why they're played so aggressively. Just play with your team.
I think this is a little bit of overconfidence. You told me that they beat the group stage without losing a single match, right? So maybe just testing the grounds here. They know that even if they make a few mistakes, they can still go ahead because they feel like they have control over this game and the tournament in itself. But as you say, they have to be careful. You can never just assume that you won a team fight and just won the game easily because, you know, this is Dota. And once Luna gets a lot of items, I mean, she can stand against an anime.
You know what? She is actually caught up. I got confused there because she was at 11,000, then I saw she dropped down. Leshrac was there, and yesterday I saw a Haster that wasn't there, as you remember. So I thought my eyes were deceiving me, but she is very close now. Closer than as close as I thought she was originally, because she bought the Manta style, it was being delivered. That's why the net worth dropped. But now it's there. And Luna is, I mean, not quite with the AM, but close. He's got, really for MUFC, this is the, you know, they're going to have to do this one trial by fire. They really got to sharpen up, play as a group. They're grouping up mid. They are playing pretty defensively now. AM's farming, but he's not really forcing the fights too much. Just split pushing, playing defensively. Orange doing the same. We've talked a lot about AM and Luna. How's everybody else doing? Prophet's starting to get some items now. Ultimate Orb is up. Is he anywhere near that Scythe of Ice? Still a long ways off, but hey, he's a lot closer to it now than he was a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, look at that Luna Illusions. If no one comes to defend this tower, and Animage just did, I mean, the tower was mowed down from full health to half health just by that Luna Illusions and that catapult right there. And that's the good thing about being Orange right now. I mean, you know, you can count on getting a couple tier 2, and that will inject some money into your pockets. While all MUFC can do is either attempt to go high ground or keep farming the jungle or anything, because there are not more tier 2 towers for them to actually do anything significant.
You're right, and that is the one nice thing about Luna. She's a great pushing hero, and it's interesting. AM and Luna, both of these heroes are really strong late game as carries for one big reason. They're great at assassinating supports. AM with his Mana Burn and Mana Void, and Luna with the bouncing glaives. I'm not sure who I actually give the edge to. Luna in a siege, I think, will have a bit of an advantage. I guess the one X factor is there's Shadow Demon, so you get 5 AMs instead of 3, and that may make all the difference. But
I like the fact that Shadow Demon, I mean, it's level 10 and it's not as important as it was now, but he maxed Disruption before maxing Soul Catcher because he realized that getting a Luna Illusion or getting Anti-Mage Illusion would be much more useful right now than getting an extra point in Shadow Poison or something like that. Of course, now he has both maxed out, both Soul Catcher and Disruption. He still keeps just 1 point in Shadow Poison where he will max eventually. But I mean, this is a key match to get Disruption because those Luna Illusions will bounce the Glaives as well as the Luna, and those Anti-Mage Illusions will burn 64 mana each. So, quite a nice match for this.
well, HY does have another item, so those illusions get a bit tankier. You can see them just slicing away at Yamate, removing a lot of mana. He's still got enough for Eclipse, but just barely at that. HY getting close to that Heart of Terras. That will be the choice for him. He's not going for something we see occasionally, which is BKB. I don't think this will be a good game for it, because you already have the mats to get up Silence, and you're naturally tanky. But sometimes we see Butterfly. It wouldn't be bad against Luna, but there's no other physical DPS. So I think this is the right build, even though it's a lot more delayed than it should be. And his farm at one point was pretty top-notch, and now it's strong AM farm, but it's not otherworldly because of those deaths. He's ahead of the Luna. But at this point, I feel like it starts to come... You know, it's not a game where AM can just clearly solo carry at 1v5. He's going to need his team to back him up because Orange are starting to get the items out.
Yeah, well, he tried and failed before in this skirmish in top lane. So clearly he can't do that now. However, I mean, the good thing about getting this hard is that he's going to be really tough. And the Butterfly against Luna... I mean, it's half as effective as with other characters because, yeah, I mean, if Luna clearly right-clicks you, you can dodge 35% of those attacks. But the secondary hits from the glaives hit you no matter what. So if just Luna, all she has to do is target someone else, and the bounces will hit the Anti-Mage, and they will still hurt.
Yeah, much like a Sven cleave, it is very potent. The primary glaives are going to do most of the damage, but it's a decent chunk, and also... the Lunar Blessing is a big source of physical damage for your team. 38 times 5. Bruno, you're the math man, but I'm going to try and one-up you here. 150 plus 40. That's 190 damage for your entire team collectively, as I count it. That's a lot of freaking damage.
That's a lot of damage.
That's 2/3 of a Divine Rapier, actually. Divine Rapier giving you 300 damage, so wow.
I mean, you have to have all the team right-clicking and hitting the same guy or actually doing damage.
Right, of
and
course.
Sometimes, but still, I mean, it's really good. It's more than Anti-Mage can provide to his team, which is nothing. So that's why Luna is also a really good carry. I mean, I really love carries that can help your team as well as actually doing that. And as I say that, Anti-Mage has his completed Heart of Terras, and Leshrac has his completed Bloodstone, which... It's not helping too much because there are no skirmishes, there are no fights at the moment, but if they get one or two good team fights, wow.
He's really fat. Ohio has done a great job this game, and he's been quite involved. Every time they pushed, he's been there. 3-1-5, has only died once. He's been a stable presence for this team. A late game Leshrac doesn't... It depends. She can do a lot against Luna, but it's all about if that BKB is up. If it is up, Luna's going to crush him. If it's down, Leshrac can easily win that fight, so... We'll see.
Yep, the plate mailing indicates that he might be going for a Shiva as well. And once he starts popping Diabolic Edict, Shiva, Pulse Nova, maybe a Split Earth, and some Lightning to top it off, it's a lot of magical damage. And I mean, you were speaking about Ohio being one of the best, if not the best, Southeast Asian solo mid player. I think he's demonstrated that he's really, really good because. I mean, yeah, he had help from the Shadow Demon, but Night Stalker had help from the Jakiro. And if you look at Night Stalker now, what does he have? Just Treads and BKB and 600 gold in the banks.
I I won't say he is the best player as an all-time or anything like that, but he's playing the best over the past month and maybe even 2 months, but definitely over the past month. He's been playing better than anybody else, more consistently to be sure. And that's what I mean when I say that. And I mean, it's been in a variety of roles. That's the really interesting thing for me with Ohio. You know, you look at a player like Mushi, as amazing as he is, we normally see him on just a handful of heroes. You know, it's usually the TA or the Quap mid, occasionally an AM getting free farm in the safe lane. Ohio's played everything. Solo mid, Jakiro, safe lane, Shadow Fiend, dual lane mid, Shrek. It doesn't matter. This guy's all over the place. And what's crazy about it is, for the most part, all of them work. So that's what's scary. Is just it's like playing 5 players in one in a sense, because you never know what he's going to be doing. And you can ban some of his heroes, but you can't ban them all. With Mushi, I mean, he's played well at other heroes, but teams ban Quap and TA and they feel confident they're not going to have to deal with Mushi in his final form. I talk a lot about Mushi, but hey, he's not here.
Yeah, he's not here, but I mean, he's not being missed.
Is he? Is he? Are you sure about that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's still other good guys in the team. KYXY might not be Mushi, but he's still playing. I mean, I don't know. Under this matchup, you can never just take one player out and put one player in. The rest of the team is doing okay. I mean, 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, we would have been sure that this match wouldn't last this long without MUFC going for tier 3s. But they have managed to stop Animage. They got a couple team fights going in their favor. And now, I mean, suddenly it's a close game. Even though MUFC gets Aegis on his Heart of Thorax 2.4k anti-mage, they don't feel like this game is lost at all. If you get another good team fight, because we haven't had any good team fights in 10 minutes, they can easily push. They have the Furion, they have the Luna, they have Jakiro. He's very, very good at Decision as well. I mean, this game is not over by any means.
Luna has her Butterfly as well. That's really going to help against Anti-Mage, especially because he just got a Basher. It is a great way to deal with a hero like Luna. Blink in, and once you have that Abyssal Blade, you could just immediately reliably Basher, or just start auto-attacking and, you know, hope that you get that proc before she's able to Eclipse, before she's able to BKB. That is one thing that MUFC, I won't say they're lacking on, because they've got a Blink Sand King. He can blink in and stun, but he really wants to hit a big Epicenter, and if he's going for that, then he's not going to be initiating with Burrow Strike. And this way, you have an instant stun that doesn't mind just jumping into the middle of the fight off the bat. So I like the Basher pickup, but the Butterfly is going to be a fortunate way to kind of respond to it.
Yep. And MUFC still has an ace under their sleeve, which is the Darkseer wall, which we haven't seen yet because all the other team fights, Darkseer was not high level enough. But
You're right.
if he pulls a proper wall and back him into Leshrag walking there, popping a Split Earth, and look at this. Wow.
The siege begins. Night Stalker's pushing top. He's not even here. He'll be coming back. No way he can split push. He'll be coming back, right? He's still pushing. Maybe hoping for a base trade. Prophet could TP top, but then the base is undefended, and I don't think a Night Stalker Prophet with no items on the Prophet, aside from maybe the makings of a Hex, which I think he just completed, is going to be enough. No, he actually doesn't even have the Hex. He's saving for buyback. There's quite a few heroes that have buyback. AM's blinking away. Tower dropping low. In and out they go. Ohio and HY bobbing and weaving to and fro. Now the tower falls. The fight gets tougher. That Darkseer wall is here. He'll drop it. They just want the racks and then get out. Night Stalker still pushing top. They get the tier 3 there, but then he mans down. He TPs away. HY is running. Now he's going back in. Here comes the Eclipse. A lot of damage. These supports are dropping pretty low. Ohio's in the middle of the fight, doing quite a bit. If he dies, the Bloodstone will help keep his team alive. He's dropping. Luna's driving them back. They defend the racks. HY with the Aegis, trying to run away. He may lose it anyway, in spite of backing off, in spite of not committing. Big AM ult, but not enough. 2 heroes low. Nobody falling yet. Bruno MUFC is getting overrun. They do escape with the Aegis, but they lost a tier 3. They traded a tier 3 against a Night Stalker of all heroes. Not the fight they were hoping for.
That's just terrible. Had they gotten that barrack, they were trying to get that melee barracks, this would be a different story, but they traded 3 heroes. Yeah, as you said, they didn't lose the Aegis, but they traded 3 heroes and a couple of tier 3 towers, which 2 minutes ago, Orange wouldn't have even dreamed of pushing and going high ground. Now they have the opportunity to get there. Furion will keep pushing the lanes. When the lanes get too close to the top tower, Furion can TP and quickly mow down what... even if it's just ranged barracks, and it will start making a difference.
I'm I'm not sure about the way they played that one, because we saw Leshrac BKB and then run away, so he didn't really heal his team up with the Bloodstone Death Charge. We saw Anti-Mage had the Aegis, but chose not to fight, backed off. He did escape with it, but maybe if he had fought, they probably would have gotten Rax, and they are dire. They could look to have it again. Yamate is just chewing through the illusions. The Glaive's doing a lot to them. Now he's got the Helm of the Dominator, so he's getting more tanky. The one concern for me is that BKB's slowly losing charges, and that's the one difference between AM and Luna. AM naturally tanky, just from having, I mean, not only the heart, but also the spell shield. Luna, much more reliant on the BKB. If she's not lifestealing, she will drop very quickly.
Yep, and Night Stalker decides to go for the Basher as well, so it will be a bashing fight between the Anti-Mage and the Night Stalker, which is always interesting to see.
Yeah,
but then again...
Lucky Bashes could absolutely decide this game.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Especially with such attack. Look at this, I mean, I'm looking at the net worth right now, and Luna has been able to keep up with the Anti-Mage. They were 3k gold difference 10 minutes ago. There still are, but as time goes and goes, I mean, if you have 10,000 gold in items and the other guy has 7,000 golds, well, it's quite an important difference. But when it's 23 versus 20, it's not that much of a difference right now, and you can say that pretty evenly farmed.
Oh, he will come in. Luna's got the Eclipse. She's got the BKB in just a second. Pops the Manta very early in this fight. AM still has his Manta, waiting for that Night Stalker Silence to unleash it. He's not using it yet. The wall drops. A lot of damage from both teams. All the nukes flying out, but it's MUFC who seem to be on the back foot, driven away. Shadow Demon and the Darkseer both fall, and that Luna is making quick work of the Darkseer illusions. The Glaives just chew them up and spit them out, and that's a big part of their team fight that's not really accomplishing anything.
Well, at least this time they got the melee barracks. I'm going to say this is worth it. I mean, losing 2 heroes to get the melee barracks means that you will have control pretty much of all the jungle, because the bottom lane will be pushed constantly, yeah, and the Luna will not be able to farm it as effectively because, as you know, the Mega Creeps give less gold. And there's nothing that Orange can do. It's not like they can quickly push right now, because they did a very good job on pushing the top lane. And even if they have no tier 3 tower top, what can Furion do? I mean, it will take you about 30 seconds to actually pull, and Darkseer will have respawn fight by that time. So, yeah, I mean, they lost 2 heroes. It was not that great, but pretty good trade.
They also held on to the Aegis, although that's not going to do them much good because it is about to expire. HY, he's bought an Abyssal Blade. There's going to be a 4-minute window where he doesn't have buyback. Well, unless he can farm it sooner, but it's going to be, what does it say, 1,400 gold or so to farm?
Yeah.
I think that's the right number. I'm looking at under buyback status.
Yep.
It's a little way to go for him because how much reliable gold does he have? Only 90. So yeah, no reliable gold. He'll need to farm enough to pay the death tax. Speaking of the death tax, Bruno, what are your thoughts on that? I'm just kidding. So yeah, it's the waiting game right now for both teams.
Yep. No more Roshan. I think that they both want to secure the next Roshan, because if you put the Aegis and the Cheese on Luna, let's say the Night Stalker, or even the Nature's Prophet, which has a shift stick already. I mean, he started off terribly, but I mean, he's level 14 now, which is kind of okay. He has a shift stick, which will come really in handy against an anti-mage that doesn't have any BKB at all. If they can secure that Aegis, I think they can turn the tides right here. But again, if you put the Aegis back into Leshrac or Anti-Mage, well then there's not much Orange can do but wait in base and pray.
Speaking of that, Leshrac doesn't go for the Shivas, goes back for a Reaver. Really wants to tank up, just get a lot of more HP. I'm looking for when those BKB charges get lower, because so far we've seen Luna, who's now down to a 6-second BKB charge, and Night Stalker just not give 2 hoots about the Leshrac. They just focus him immediately. Night Stalker's is still quite healthy. He has the 8-second charge. But when they get down to 5, especially if Ohio's buyback, I really think this Leshrac could be the difference maker. Because right now he just has to run away from Luna and Night Stalker. They kill him. So he can't get on top of the supports. He can't burst down heroes like the Rubik. To a lesser extent the Prophet, and then of course the Twin-Headed Dragon. But when those BKBs are low charges, maybe when he's got buyback available, he could be a big difference maker. They are fighting against the Mega Creeps now, so MUFC going to have a little bit more of a map control advantage. And like you said, it's really all about Roshan. It's coming up soon, and I'm not sure if Orange will contest it. It's a tough call. If you give it up, it's going to be hard to defend your racks, because MUFC can just throw bodies at you and basically try to bull rush their way in. If you try and fight it and lose, which is going to be fairly likely, well, there's a decent shot since you're up against Wall and Epicenter and just a lot of AoE. then you're pretty much screwed because you're going to be sitting with no Aegis, no cheese, and you just died at Roche.
Yep. I have to say, the way MUFC is playing this, they really, really understand the fact that anti-mage works really well with illusions, because you have to look at the Shadow Demon pick, and the way, you know how we talked about Shadow Demon being really useful with Luna as well. Now guess what Darkseer went for? He went for an Axe Scepter, knowing that that Luna illusion dealing 140% damage will be really strong, because you know, Luna is one of those carries that don't go for damage items at all. It's all stats items, so yeah, she won't get the extra damage, which I'm not sure how much extra, like single damage, non-agility damage she has. But that illusion will be dealing pretty much the same or even more damage than the normal hero. And again, Scepter is not an item that we see often in Darkseer anymore, but in this matchup, this is great.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to make those illusions... again, the damage is just absolutely insane. The illusions do more damage than actually the main hero does. At least as far as the base damage goes. 140%, so... and like you said, the damage that comes from agility. That's fearsome, and it's going to kill off the Luna illusions pretty quickly, too, because like you said, glaives can't be dodged, they can't be evaded, so the bounces will chew through everything, and as good as it's looked for Orange, it's going to be just a... Can we just call it a clusterfuck? Because that's what it's going to be in the next fight.
I guess so, yeah. Well, we'll see what's going on. Oh, Roche is almost up, by the way. And they all know. They both pinged at the same time. I knew as well. That's why I was looking there. Huh. But, I mean, MUFC has the heads up. There's the Furion trees, but trees on themselves can't do anything. Will they try and contest? They're pinging for that mid push. It seems like they can't contest this LD, and this is Roshan going for MUFC. Or maybe not. They're not going straight away.
They are contesting this. I thought maybe they wouldn't. It's going to be a pretty dangerous fight for them, because if that big wall epicenter combo is there, wow, that's a forward sprout. That is a very, or not sprout, but hex there. WW has forced his team into an interesting fight. All of them vacuumed in, into the wall. HY, the first one to fall here. He does drop to the glaives. He has buyback. He'll pop it immediately, but it is Ohio when everybody's BKBs are down, who looks to do a good chunk of his own damage. Now 3 heroes dead on Orange.
Look at that Luna illusion. That Luna illusion actually got... who did he kill? Jakiro.
It hurts, man. It hurts.
Really strong illusion. And this pretty much secures the Roshan, the Grievil Roshan this time. So yeah, there's nothing anyone can do right now. Anti-Mage bought back cleverly, just came back there, and now, even though the fight started looking good for Orange, they don't have the Rudy, the Nature's Prophet, not the Jakiro.
You know what's...
And Luna uses ultimate, so...
You know what's crazy?
At
one point, AM was 6k gold, maybe there's somewhere between 5 and 7k gold ahead of the Luna. He's now behind by 1,000, and it's what a turn of events. I mean, you go back to how this game started. HY was so far ahead. 3 really questionable engagements from him and the team. He dies all those times. If they go on to win, you gotta figure they're gonna be still saying, "Man, we dodged a bullet." A sigh of relief from us, because we made a lot of mistakes in this game. Orange playing well, but they are playing still from behind, being down later for X. They have Prophet, though, and with Prophet, base trades can work out in your favor. Also, we always have to keep our eyes on if he can find that opening to just kill off a hero with that Hex. AM has the Manta, up to another 3k gold. It's pretty much time to get 6 slotted. And then, that's it. Or if this game goes long enough, Orange, they have more late game, I want to say, because the illusions from Darkseer's wall, they're dying for the most parts of Luna. If Darkseer hits a big wall, maybe it's MUFC who does. But otherwise, you've got Prophet, Nightstalker, and Luna, who all are very powerful late game. And you've got heroes who start to scale off a bit on the side of MUFC.
Yeah, but still, I mean, Shadow Demon is still a great late game support because of that purge. It goes through BKB, go through everything. That's disruption, true. As we said. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty even, but then again, you always have to remember that there is a Nature's Prophet that is not making a huge impact so far, but, I mean, Nature's Prophet is a really strong hero when he gets farmed.
That was a kamikaze Nature's Prophet in that last fight. That was the word I was searching for, racking my brain for. He TP'd into 4 or 5 heroes. That was not what they wanted out of him. I don't think they realized the entire MUFC squad was there, but
yeah.
Hopefully he'll calm down a little bit for the next fight.
Another 5 heroes, but they don't want to deal against that anti-mage. They don't know if he's alone or what happens with him, but they just saw anti-mage TPing and he's just right here. Well, look how tanky his illusion is. He's tanking both Luna illusions and a full creep where it took like 5 seconds to kill. These are really, really strong illusions.
Illusion War is my favorite custom map. You know, there's so many interesting mechanics. Like, if you're not attacking a Luna illusion, then you can cleave onto them and you can't dodge that splash. All sorts of crazy... This is where you'd really love to have your Bible of illusion mechanics just up on the second monitor. Unfortunately, I don't know if there is one. I know the information's out there between Play Dota, Dota 2 Wiki, Liquid... Oh, I don't think Liquipedia really has anything on that. But yeah, there's a lot of websites that have that info, but it's not... You know, you want the Bible right now just to make sure that you understand that. All the stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, interesting mechanics that I would love to go back and just watch this replay, just to kind of analyze all those little things and see how much impact the illusions are having in this game.
It deals lots of damage. I mean, for both anti-mage and Luna, that's for sure. Darkseer also helps. But at this point, I don't know who has actually who has the cheese. I didn't see. Of course, Leshrac has the cheese.
I'm a little concerned about this AM because he bought Boots of Travel, which makes sense. It is a good late game item. The problem is he has no attack speed. They don't have anything like Inner Beast. I don't even think they have a drum on their team. They don't have a Necro Book. He's got really... Sure, you're AM. You've got that high base attack time. He still attacks reasonably fast, but he's not attacking nearly as fast as Luna. And because he sold his power treads, he's even further behind. And this also does affect the illusions, so they attack even slower. It means his practical DPS is a lot lower than you would expect for an AM who's almost max inventory.
Well, I'm pretty sure that once his Aegis either falls off or just expires on his health, he's going for that full butterfly. I mean, the way he's farming right now, he's 2.7k gold. He can really farm. Oh, and they're going top. Oh,
top
nice
lane.
stroker.
KYXY is Demonic Purge. He's dropping low with the BKB, trying to TP away. Oh, not able to do so in the end. He gets picked off. The bash was there. And now the chase is on. And Orange on the back foot. Nightstalker, did he buy anything? I think he bought the Abyssal Blade. Doesn't have enough for buyback. Is this really how they're going to lose the game? If they do, it will be because of that. Or at least largely because of it. That's a painful way to go out if that's the case. Orange now desperately trying to defend. But that Bull Rush hero, the frontline tank, the Nightstalker's gone. They do have BKB up on Luna. They do have buyback on Luna and Prophet. So they will have at least 6 bodies to throw into this fight. Into the meat grinder that is MUFC. Darkseer wall cooling down for a full minute, so they won't have to worry about the wall. One of the best zoning tools in the push. Now the Edict's starting to work with the tower. If they get this tower, it will be 2 lanes of Rex, and the next Roshan probably to go MUFC's way. HY gets sprouted. Blinks to safety. That's a 2-hero ice path. That's a good ice path. They pull the Leshrac back in, but he's surged out of there to safety, and now they bash Yamate. Oh, what an unbelievable burrow strike! Net! Are you kidding me? Wow, what a hero, and set up by Lane with the vacuum. Bruno, can you say teamwork?
that was awesome. That was just so great. I mean, he caught everyone there. The 4 heroes straight in that vacuum, and this is GG. There's nothing they can do right now. This is GG.
That was just outplayed. The Nightstalker getting picked off, mental mistakes, buying that Abyssal Blade, not having buyback, getting caught out of position. But then MUFC, teamwork with the vacuum, the 4-hero burrow strike. BKBs aren't going to help you if they're down. What a way to win this game, and it is a best out of 1. It's pretty much, it is Mega Creeps at this point. I don't see Orange coming back from this. They will try, they will fight on because it's best out of 1. You fight until that throne's dead. It's a lot of money in this event. We'll see if they can turn this around, but it looks real tough to do it. Yamate is fighting, but he's getting bashed. That late game basher, one of the best ways to deal with a BKB carry, especially one who has lifesteal. But Yamate's dodging so many hits, and the Nightstalker Fear further reducing his a chance to attack, to hit, and Anti-Mage goes down, loses the Aegis, 2 gems on the ground, and not often you see teams not carried about those. A fresh silence applied, another burrow strike, this one on 2, not quite 4, but he'll take it. Is their Rubik lift, it's cooling down, blinking away, blinking forward, the chase is on, the hunt is on, now a 4-staff and a pullback, probably into an ice path. Meanwhile, the throne under siege. No! Into their doom! The team left them! KYXY gave up the chase. Prophet gave up the chase to defend the base, and AM picks up 2. And Bruno, that's gotta be it.
That's gotta be. There's nothing they can do right now. That Luna, I mean, She's great for defending against Mega Creeps, but this will not be enough with such a farmed anti-mage and such a strong pushing power. Wow, I mean, I haven't seen the Sun King doing anything like great in this match, but then he had to come with his Barrow Strike on 4 guys after the vacuum, and that's all they needed. And look at that, the tower just falls there. There's a gem in the floor which no one cares about. There's a drop though.
There were actually 2 gems on the ground and nobody cared about them at one point. This Trono, there's not many safe places to go anymore. Wow. And it's got to be a really frustrating loss for Orange, because it's a best out of 1, and you know, you fight so hard. They had to play the additional tiebreakers after starting off 2-0 in their group, then going 2-2 and playing really well in spite of not having Mushi. And now they're just out after 1 game, and a game that it hung in the balance for a long time, a game where they were behind, a game where they came back. This is a tough loss for Orange.
This is really, really hard. So what happens now with Orange? They have to play a tiebreaker against a team that's still to be determined, right?
No, now Orange will play the loser of our next match, which will be Mythtrust versus ldD for the 3rd place decider. It's single elimination. They're out of the running for top 2.
Oh.
Unless they have a miracle and somehow win at a base trade, which we don't see happening.
That's kind of hard right now, but I mean, we'll see. The game is not over.
I'm really not a fan of the format, I gotta say. It's been some sensational games this tournament, but it's a $30,000 prize pool for this event, and to have best out of 1 semifinals and single elimination on top of that, and only 2 teams advancing from the groups, which had 5 and 6 respectively. That is so incredibly unforgiving, but we have seen some great Dota in this best out of 1, to be fair.
Yep. An anti-mage went for that butterfly, so all those worries about him not having attack speed are over now, because that plus 60 attack speed that they get from the agility and the base attack speed there,
yeah,
it's going to make a huge difference.
It's a lot, and AM benefits more from it. Here comes the final count, the final fight, a big vacuum, a nice eclipse, so much stuff going on. You guys can see what's happening. Oh, that's what's happening. Net's gonna end the game with another big epicenter burrow strike, and the throne dies. A punctuation mark on a powerful conclusion of this game. MUFC run away with it. It looked so close, but Bruno, they were the better team today, and they deserved this win.
Yep, congratulations to them. They will be playing against the winner of what exactly? What's the other match?
ldD versus Mythtrust. I'm glad you prompted me. We'll take a quick look at the brackets for those on the live stream. That will be our next match. I believe there is a decent delay. I want to say it's going to be an hour, maybe a little bit less, because I think we started behind schedule today. I'll let you guys know when that match is happening, but ldD versus Mythtrust is next. The winner of that match plays MUFC in the grand finals. The loser plays Orange in the 3rd, 4th place decider. We'll have those matches coming up for you guys later today, but that will wrap it up for this game. Bruno, any party words, any shout-outs, anything you want to say to all your fans out there?
Just keep watching the tournament, because it's getting better and better right now. We'll see the other semifinals, and we'll probably see a very, very exciting finals, even if it's best of 1.
The finals is best of 3. At least the grand finals is.
Great. Well, that's something at least to hope for. So no matter who wins the next game, it's going to be an amazing final, an amazing the top 3 decider. So keep tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the next games.
Yeah, Bruno, thank you very much for joining me. Everybody on the live stream, thank you for joining me. Don't go anywhere. We have 3 more matches coming up for you guys. 2 best of 1s and a best of 3, I believe. So stay tuned for all that action. You're watching the Asia, brought to you by Beyond the Summit. For now, this is ld and Bruno signing.
GG.